So this week, we're taking a look at Curse of the Demon Mountain. Now, I've been wanting to watch this one for quite a while, for a very specific reason, and we'll talk about that later. So let's have a look. Curse of the Demon Mountain, otherwise known as The Shadow of Chikara, Wishbone Cutter, The Ballad of Virgil Caine, and Thunder Mountain, is an American horror western film directed by Earl E. Smith in 1977. This is the only film Smith has directed, and we get a small appearance from Slim Pickens, a famous cowboy-turned-actor who's been in such films as Blazing Saddles and Dr. Strangelove. So the film opens up with a fast text crawl about the worth of gems. We get the titles and some flickering, and we're thrown into the final battle of the Civil War. We meet our main characters, Captain Cutter, who is leading the Southern Army, and Half Moon O'Brien, who is like Cutter's right-hand man. They get the order to attack, which doesn't go so well. A guy called Virgil, played by Slim Pickens, gets attacked, and after they lose the battle, he tells Cutter and Moon about some diamonds he found as a boy. He hid them in a cave.
Watch yourself up there on that mountain. It's spooky up there.
And he says if they can find them, they can have them, and then he dies. Cutter tries to go home, but his wife thought he was dead and she's found another guy. The two men fight, and we get a lot of audio issues. Cutter eventually leaves with Moon. They sit by a river and chat about getting the diamonds. Cutter knows a geologist who will be able to help, so they go and meet him. They meet in a bar with the geologist, who's known as Teach, and they set off. While on their way, they pass a bunch of bodies. An arrow hits Teach in the arm, and they flee, but Cutter comes back to pick up a girl, who I thought was dead. Turns out she's just in shock. They rip out the arrow and chat about how they think the girl was raped. Cutter wakes her up by chucking her in a river and then forcing her to drink some booze. She comes around and we find out her name is Drusilla. Teach thinks Cutter was too rough with her, and he chats with her for a bit and they seem to hit it off. We have a weird quick fade to Moon, who says he can't see any tracks from the tribe, but he feels that they are being followed. They set up camp, and Teach and Cutter argue about what to do with Drusilla. Cutter wants to leave her because he doesn't want her to know what they're doing, but Teach wants her to tag along so she can keep safe, and they end up deciding to keep her with them. The next morning, Moon hears something. Another arrow flies in, but he still can't see the tribe. They move out and they ride through the day. They set up camp in a cave again at night when a thunderstorm hits. Cutter goes to see Moon, who is standing guard, but the horses have gone, so Moon goes looking for them alone. Moon brings the horses back by the morning, but they have weird marks on them. They set off again, and they see a guy in the woods, so they shoot at him. We get a very weird cut, and apparently there are two of them, and they're bushwhackers, so they invite them back to the cabin for a rest. The group doesn't trust them though, and after eating they make their excuses and leave.
Just follow that path, take you right down the river.
A third man appears, and he says that they should follow and kill the group. It's suddenly snowy now, and the bushwhackers have tracked the group, but Cutter knows that they're there. Teach has a plan to plant some dynamite to blow up the rocks. He does it, and the avalanche of boulders kill them. They set up camp and drink coffee. Drusilla goes for a piss, and they hear a man screaming. She runs back, and Moon goes to check it out, and he finds a dead guy. They finally reach the mountain, and Moon recognises it. There's a legend attached to it of an eagle called Chikara that was killed by man, and now seeks revenge on any man that goes to the mountain. Drusilla wants to know what's going on, and Teach tells her everything. They go and look around a cave and find a big hole.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's one hell of a hole.
They search some more, but no luck. Moon doesn't like it though, he thinks he shouldn't be there. They rest, and Drusilla has a go at Cutter for being a dick to her. After an awful VHS thing, whatever the hell you'd call that, Drusilla and Moon go to get the horses, but something strange happens and the horses, along with Drusilla and Moon, fall off the cliff. And yeah, they actually threw horses off a cliff for this shot. Drusilla shouts up through the rubble though, she's still alive. Cutter shimmies down the cliff and rescues her, but Moon is dead. Cutter thinks he knows where the stones are, and they go back to the cave and to the big hole. Teach is the one shimmying down this time, and they find them. Teach says that they're actually diamonds. They're all happy, but Cutter's worried about the journey back. Teach is on the lookout, and Cutter is asleep. Drusilla comes outside to Teach, and they kiss. She leads him over to the bushes, but he gets an arrow to the throat. She runs back to the cave and wakes up Cutter. He hugs her, they kiss, and start getting a little frisky. But Cutter notices a strange tattoo on her arm. She stabs Cutter and runs around outside with an eagle. Guess she's the demon of the Demon Mountain? She's the curse of the... She's the Demon Mountain? I don't know. People are coming, so she lays down around the dead bodies, rips her clothes, and sets herself up like she did the last time. And the film ends. Okay, so, what did I think? I didn't really like it. It wasn't my sort of film, I don't think. There's a lot of nothing. A lot of walking through the woods and just very dull scenes that didn't really go anywhere. The characters were very bland and hard to get behind. The idea was okay, I just think it was executed poorly. The music was very nondescript, as was everything else really. A lot of my issues do have something to do with the release though, which I'll cover now. So yeah, the release. I mean, just look at it. This is the worst one in a while. It's so blurry and dull, it's unreal. And the audio, well, I thought there was a major audio issue with sound cutting out, like here.
Leave him alone, you...
But on second thought, I think that they're muting swearing, which is ridiculous. Also, just look at some of these edits.
Point. You got a cushy job doing the fighting.
And this one as well.
I bet I scared y'all, didn't I?
There's got to be scenes cut out. I looked on the BBFC website, and it says only 6 seconds were cut for the horses being killed, but IMDb says there's a version that's 13 minutes longer, so I'm wondering what happened. On top of all this, we get flickers, odd fades, and it's just a mess. We get the logo and menu again though, so that's something. Now for the case. Right, so these commas seem a little out of place, fair enough, but it tries to be clever with a covey of hawks. Now the group name for hawks is either a cast or a kettle, not a covey. But also, there isn't a cast of hawks in this film, there's like one eagle, so why they even bothered, I've no idea. Apart from that, this bit looks a bit weird, the ending is not what it makes out it is, but the runtime's spot on. Now something I really need to talk about, and the reason I was interested in watching this one, is this rating, PG. This is what makes me think the swearing's cut out, and I'm guessing that this film has been cut to pieces for this, even though it still talks about rape and has horses dying. Also, just look at it with the rest of the collection. It looks stupid. Really, really bizarre choice. Overall then, I can't say I liked anything about this one. Maybe it's better uncut, I don't know. There are other versions released in the UK, but they go for stupid prices online. Now obviously the worst thing about this film was the print, and it's so bad that it's interestingly bad, and people who enjoy the terrible might get some enjoyment out of this. But saying that, I couldn't recommend the film or the release.